Oh, hello guys, welcome back. Um, so you guys know I've been having some trouble on the channel for like ever since the channel has existed. And it made me think of a lot of stuff. Like you guys have been really good and supportive. Don't worry, the channel's not ending. And a lot of you pointed out if a god's not protecting you from something, maybe that's not the god for you. And I'm hearing like weird shit out in the hall. I don't think gods like change. Anyhow, you know I have like a lot of hateful people come on the channel. And I'm not gonna cry about that. It's just something has been bothering me for a long time. We've talked about before. If you're new to the channel, it'll be the first time you get to hear about it. I've always had to know not everything. We can't know everything about a god, but to know what they would do and what they wouldn't do in a certain situation. And it was really bothering me about the whole Nazi thing because it's always these folkish Naziist people that come onto the channel and stir problems. And you know, if you've been with the channel for a while, the great shame of the family is we might have Jewish blood somewhere muzzled off. And I'm gonna tell you, neither of which need to apply to Odin and probably should run the other way. And there are a lot of articles that talk about would Odin work with Nazis, and everyone that's written by someone that works with Odin is like, yeah, if he could get what he wanted, he would, and he'd accept their offerings. Same thing for white supremacists and everything else. And at the same time, being Odin, he would go work with peaceful Hugabunny Wiccans because he's Odin. He's not being dishonest. He's just that ruthless a god that he would work with the Pope and he would work with a guy burning children in an oven because he's Odin. And I sat down with that for a couple hours today and I thought, yeah, he's ruthless enough that it doesn't mean he necessarily approves of what people do. Don't misunderstand me. But he will do what it takes to get what he needs. And you can either accept that, I think, and work with Odin, or not face it and deny it. And it kept coming up to the surface, and it kept coming up to the surface. And like I told you guys, I don't like what Odin was turning me into. And I just had to think about it, and I thought, you know, it would be in Odin's nature that, yeah, he would work with me no matter what I could be. I mean, God being Italian, I could be, you know, what they say about science. And, you know, he would work with anyone on the planet. I know he would, but that means he would work with anyone on the planet. And I'm like, I can see why he could do it. The logical, efficient part of me can see, yeah, he would work with the very worst people on the planet. And I thought, but I can't have it in a god. I can't have a god who, by working with him, I may, in some indirect way, be helping the cause of people that would be against everything I stand for. So I went into VR, and I did not have the heart to take any of the temples down, but I did turn the first temple into a home. And I'm like, I'm an amazingly good designer at designing a home. It's very nice and soothing. And I can't any longer look at any of the symbols for Odin and not think of the hate groups. In fact, I've had that problem for a while, and I kept trying to tell myself, just distance yourself, see him as a god of love. Loki this morning had referenced one of the worst parts of Odin, and I think Loki was giving me a heads up. And Loki, one of the things you have to understand about Loki is he's willing to let you go, in fact, give you a shove in the hard direction if he thinks it's best for you. He's willing to sacrifice his connection to his people. And so I go in there and I'm playing this song that's like supposed to help you calm down, and I'm just praying and I'm praying, I'm like, God, Jesus, universe, whomever, just give me this sign. Who am I supposed to be working with? Should I be working with him? I mean, come on, if I'm like any probability at all that I'm Jewish or, you know, however distantly African or something, I mean, I know Africa's a continent. I just wouldn't know where they would be from, okay? Don't give me a hard time. Um, why would I want to work with a god who would also work with the people that would be against me? And that's what it came down to. And I thought, you know who likes Jews? Jesus, God, whomever God is that I worked with. And I just spent a couple hours in meditation, and I thought, well, you know, I can't work, and this is not going to become the Christian channel, I promise you. I can't work with any gods right now. Because it seems that if I go to the Greek gods, the Norse gods just bully their way in. And if I go to the Norse gods, one of you had pointed out you have all the gods you think you have. Loki just takes credit for everything, and I'm like one baboon hair away from a nervous breakdown, guys. And you know, the pragmatist in me wanted to save the channel first off and didn't want to tell you I was having any problems. And I'm like, that's dishonest. You still have just enough ethics left to scrape together to do this thing, to do the right thing. Tyr would be proud of me if we were still speaking. And it wasn't like the Norse gods didn't come forward and try to assist, but I said, I know the old man. If he has one opening, he will go for that opening. I said, I might have to live without gods for a couple weeks, couple months, I don't know. We will still have a channel. I promise you guys, we will find something. This could all resolve tomorrow. It could be hormonal, who knows? But, you know, it's like one of those things where I can't not face the elephant in the room. I cannot face not, you know, not face. Did I just do a double negative so turn to positive? I think I did. But there's racism, rampant racism and hatred in, you know, heathenry and anyone attached to Odin. And they're even putting their filthy little paws all over Loki too. And I have had enough. It's not a thing of them winning, it's a thing of doing what's best for me spiritually. And going with gods that will protect me. Now, I know every god and goddess on the earth, including God and Jesus, are connected to hate groups, or rather, hate groups have attached themselves to them. I know that. Everybody on the planet knows who the Westboro Crazies are, and if you don't, look them up. You're in for a real treat. I hate humans as a species someday, I really do. And, the thing is, the faith for Jesus is still there. And it's not like I know, please guys don't get afraid, I don't think any gods are bad, but I do think Odin's ruthless enough to do horrible things in the name of greater good. Loki probably is too. A lot of the Norse gods probably are. I don't think Jesus is. I'm like, I have to be with the most gentle, nurturing god on the planet now, and at the end of all this, I came on to YouTube. And there was this most beautiful Christmas song in the world keeps coming up on my playlist. So I'm like, okay, I hit it. And it was Gloria. And it's like my favorite song that I wouldn't let myself listen to for years because I gotta be a good little pagan, right? And as soon as I heard that song, the floodgates opened. And then it was like, Mary, do you know? And I'm like, yeah, all those old feelings are still there. And it feels comforting. And it feels warm. And it feels safe. And it doesn't feel like Jesus is going to someday sell me out to the Nazis or the white supremacist or the anyone else's. It doesn't feel like that. There are some twisted people that follow every deity, but I have absolute faith in a good, kind, and gentle Jesus. God, too. I think Odin did a lot of stuff over the last couple years to Odin's advantage, but I'm really not mad at him. I'm indifferent right now. That's a very dangerous place to be with me. I'm just indifferent because I know that if you even think of him, he will sense that and he will use that as an in, and he will use this video as an in. But I also know from dealing with him that he treats people like shit a lot of the time. And he doesn't care if he hurts you, if he gets on his objective. And as much as I love him, I'm like, you know what? I've had enough. I've honestly had enough. So I'm sorry, guys. I try to be honest with you guys, and I'm like, honestly, I think the old man's ruthless enough to hurt anyone he would have to get his objective. And it's not just me saying that and feeling sad and hormonal. Diana Paxton has made a good bit of money off of him, and she says that. So does Galena. So does every other chick that works with him. And I'm all like, you know what? If 100% of your people say that you would go over here and deal with a neo-Nazi or someone that hates Jews or somebody else, then that's your essential nature because they're all agreeing on it. And I'm like, okay. And the person that wrote the article I read today, I'd read it before, um, said the part of them, of Odin, that they deal with would never ever do such a thing, but they're aware there's a part that does. I'm like, that's good enough for me because you are either a good deity that I'm safe with, or you're a deity that has this part that, do you understand what I mean? These people could show up on my doorstep someday or something. I'm not saying people are coming on my doorstep, but you know what I mean. World War II Germany did not do the Norse Gods any favors, and I think why I got so mad about that person coming on is that I've always asked myself deep in my heart if Odin would deal with such despicable people, and I guess the conclusion I'm coming to is yes, he would, if it would further his goal. As I said, I don't think that means that he agrees with what they feel, or agrees with their outlook, but I think if it would further his ambitions, and since I don't believe in Ragnarok, I don't think it has anything to do with Ragnarok, I think he would. And our whole relationship has felt like one of those really shit mafia movies where the guy has his wife and his kids and he's keeping them away from the family business, but then he's going off and doing the family business. That's exactly what it feels like. At home, he's this loving, sweet guy and he loves the kids and he's so adorable, like a Godfather film. But then he's going out and he's torturing people. I'm like, that's exactly Odin. That's exactly him. Because there's that Oski side that would be the sweet, warm, friendly side. And then there's the fiery, shifty-eyed, suspicious one that Loki was warning me about. Loki, as far as I know, would have been fighting on the side of the resistance. Because Loki will get his people, or any people, especially the underdogs, out of harm's way, even if it means going against his brother, even if it means putting himself in danger. He'll do the right thing, much to his dismay. Loki's one of the good guys, so don't feel, bad. He will do terrible things, but he will also be the good guy at the end of the day. He will do what it takes to get people that are in trouble out of danger, and it's why so many people usually end up with him, because he will get them out of danger. So, I just figured I would make that for you guys because, like I've said before, you guys can just kind of sometimes talk me down off the edge, but it's been coming for a while, guys. I don't approve of how those people act either, of trying to manipulate me into church simply because I don't like being manipulated. It has nothing to do with church. It could be like manipulating me into voting Republican, and I would still be pissed off. And it's just a thing of, I think Odin does hate a lot of people, and I think he carries a lot of grudges, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need to be around that, because whatever you're around, you become. So, I don't know how some of the people stay do it. I really don't, but I'm like, I have to pick myself up at this point. I know he'll try to get back in, because he can still use me for something. There's still some good I can do for Odin. And I'm like, what is it you want? I've offered him repeatedly behind the scenes. I've offered to pay him off. I said, what is it you want? What's the final payment that I can pay you and get you out of my life? I'm gonna tell you, what can I say? So, I figured I'd share that with you guys. Because you do watch this channel, and it's my duty first off to protect you. I was a Knight of the Immaculata. And we swore our loyalty to Mary, and we knew very damn well we weren't going to get swords and a suit of armor and go off fighting noble battles, but we swore to always protect the innocent and to always protect people from danger. I'm not saying don't work with Odin. I'm saying make sure you know forward and back who you think he is before you work with him. And, proceed accordingly. We can all get hurt sometimes with spirituality, so... But the channel will still be here. I had to tell you the truth. I would like to think I could be dishonest and run a shell game, but I never could. It's why the video game channel never took off. I can't fucking lie. If my life depended on it, I will feel bad and guilty and tell you the truth in like 5 minutes. And you will fall in for it too, and I'll be like, I feel so bad. It's pretty, I don't know. Anyhow, guys, if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, but it's not about letting the bad guys win. It's about I can't be around that kind of energy anymore. I have to be around a God I can trust. And that doesn't mean it's going to become the Jesus channel. Please do not worry. I think it's just going to take a lot of time for me to figure out a way to have gods in my life that I can trust and be nurtured by, and not have other gods come. And obviously, the Norse gods are like, we don't give a shit if you kick Odin out. We've kicked Odin out, but we want to stay. So we're gonna have to sit down and have negotiations and talk about it. There's one part of me, the horrible part of me, the bad part of me, doesn't care what Odin does to get to his objectives, and that's the worst, horrible part of me. And Odin will draw that to the surface and show it to me. But just because a horrible part is in me doesn't mean that I have to give in to it. The horrible part of me would like to steal everything it sees and, do whatever I want to at random, but we have society and laws for a reason. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.